All right, thank you. Who's presiding? All right, court is calling 2024 CR 0100581 State versus Macedonia, Claudio Jr. Can I have parties announce?
Andrew Harris, Adelman, State.
Survey bar for Mr. Macedonia Claudio.
And are you Mr. Claudio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all discovery and did you review it with your client?
We have it.
Probation, this is an application. And Mr. Claudio, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated, third or more, as a third-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, I'm sorry, I need that one back. This one's the one that's not signed. Sorry about that. Oops. It is getting a little bit crazy today. Just one second. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights. Did you understand? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe that.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Claudio, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 7 years in the prison, and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense is at the plea?
It's probation, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, probation. Thank you.
It is otherwise, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry about that. State, did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, ignition interlock for half the term, DWI intervention, VIP live. Well, you're not allowed to drink alcohol while you're on probation, and there's to be 2-year driver's license suspension. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
And did you also understand that as a condition of your probation, the court could sentence you up to 10 years in the Bexar County Jail? All right. Then to the offenses charged, how do you plea? State, any evidence?
Contained in Exhibit 1 and attachments, Judge.
No objections, Your
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney?
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports and judgments, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just asked the court to follow the plea agreement and entered into after a couple of different discussions, not just with the ADAs, but Mr. Claudio himself. He's willing and able to handle any requirements that the court would impose in this probation, and I think that the gravity and seriousness of he was facing here is actually quite helpful in terms of him being ready to do these things and take responsibility.
All right, and with regards to Woolsey, state, is there restitution for Britton Woolsey?
No, Your Honor, all of their costs were completely covered by liability insurance.
All right, and there's no deductible for them?
If there was, they did not mention.
All right, thank you. So probation, there's no restitution. All right, so how often do you drink alcohol? Well, I mean, I'm sure after your DWI first, you said to that judge, oh, I no longer drink alcohol. And then when you pick up the second one, oh, Your Honor, I no longer drink alcohol. So obviously you have an issue with alcohol. Obviously, you cannot drink alcohol at all because you can't stop when you start. It would have been so easy for this person that you had the car accident with to have been killed by you. And then you would have been here crying, and your family members probably would have been saying, please don't send him to prison. He's a good guy. Counsel, you've done a lot of DWIs. Have you ever had a client or known someone who said, my intention when I went out drinking was to become intoxicated and kill somebody?
Amen.
Nobody ever says that, but it ends up happening. So what I will tell you, when you're on probation, and it's not just for DWIs, it's for any probation case, you're not allowed to drink alcohol, period. If you drink alcohol, that's a violation of your probation. And in this case, if your probation is violated, you're looking at potentially 7 years in the prison. And what I do know is usually when people have DWIs and they go to prison, they end up serving the majority of that time. So what do you do for a living?
I work for a company called 4840 Solutions. It's a pallet company. We break down old pallets and rebuild new ones. So I've been there nearly 2 years, a year, 7, 8 months.
And what have you been doing to seek to maintain your sobriety?
I started going to lifetime recovery outpatient. I attend AA. I am enrolled. It starts May 3rd. I'm enrolled to the DWI intervention. I completed the VIP, the victim impact. I have my certificate for that. And staying busy, work and home and with my family like I should have been doing.
All right. And do you have any minor children?
My youngest is 12, going on 13.
All right. So, counsel, there is 10 days required at the Bexar County Jail. Sometimes in exchange for that, I will do partial GPS, but it will be partial GPS for work only.
Understood, Your Honor, and that's what we would ask respectfully, Your Honor. He is maintaining this job, and it is that's one of the main reasons is that he's helping to support not only his son who lives in the home who has some special needs, but also his wife and his mother as well. So I know that is exactly important part of it. He understands what he stands to lose with that, so he will comply with all requirements.
All right. So if it's GPS, usually I waive the fees on that. They say there's a free GPS out there somewhere with no fees. I've never seen it. It's a unicorn. But with the GPS with the waive fees, probation may be able to do that with him through the probation, or he may have to go to the jail to pick it up from there.
Understood.
All right. So the court is going to sentence you to 7 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. regular random UAs with testing for alcohol, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, TAP evaluation out of custody, follow recommendations. There will be 30 days partial GPS for employment, waive fees, and that will be in lieu of 10 days in the Bear County Jail. State, do you have any objections to the defendant serving time on GPS as opposed to 10 days in the Bear County Jail?
Objection.
All right. And so that the record can be clear, the court is doing this because one, I think it would be a hardship for you to serve the 10 days in jail. You'd probably lose your employment. And also there is an overcrowding issue at the jail. There are health issues at the jail. I've toured the jail. There is mold at the jail. So that is why it's 30 days. There's going to be ignition interlock half the term. You don't have ignition interlock on any vehicles you have access to. So if those vehicles belong to persons who are living at your home, you must have GPS on those. 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's complete, the 200 hours will be deemed satisfied. DWI intervention, DWI education, and probation. Some of these classes he's already completed or he is almost completed. He can receive credit for that. VIP live, 2-year driver's license suspension. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Probation, is there anything else?
Okay.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Chief Honor,
Yes.
I allow to look for new employment since I started my job after taxes. I was getting like 560. They cut our hours. Some checks are coming out for like 300 something or something. That's
Oh, yes, you're allowed to look for new employment. All right, just speak with probation about that.
Okay.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I hope I don't need to tell you this again. There are some people who are driving around. They're just trying to go to a football game, Texas Friday Night Lights thing, or either they're driving somebody during the daytime. Everybody's just trying to get to their destination safely. And in Bear County, there's an issue with people drinking and driving. They become impaired and they think they're not impaired. And then you end up with accidents and people dying. And then it's a tragedy. And let me just tell you, the public feels little to no sympathy to the person who's intoxicated and they hit someone and then they come to court crying, I never meant to do that. I have a family to support. So if you're not going to maintain your sobriety for yourself, which is really who it should be about, then maintain it for your son that you're supporting. You understand? If you ever need anything, let probation know. If you feel like they're not addressing it, you can come back to the court. If you feel like I'm about to stray from my sobriety, call probation, speak to your sponsor. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can come back to the court and we'll see what we can do to help you. All right? All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Tony Rodriguez. Hello. All right. Hello. All right, how are you doing?
All right.
How's the weather outside? Is it still raining?
Rain
Yeah.
on and off.
Oh. You know, there's so many rain songs. It's a rainy night in Georgia. Feel like it's raining all over the world. Then, of course, this may not be appropriate, but hey, it's raining men.
Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah. All right. So where are we on discovery?
I believe, Judge, since the last setting, as far as I can tell, we have all of the discovery.
Okay.
So now I'm just still in the process of going through it. I received an offer from the state today, so my client and I will discuss that. So if we could have another setting,
Okay.
just to continue to confer.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, I need a 1 month reset for plea deadline, please. May 6th, council.
That should be. Just I just want to make sure. Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to come back on May 6th. If you have not reached an agreement at that time, your next setting is going to be a jury trial. All right, thank you. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
I don't want to bother you.
Yeah.
All right, Juan Ramos. Hello. All right, so the last time we were here, there was an issue with the discovery upload.
Yes.
Is that taken care of now?
I received a physical copy of the discovery today,
Okay.
Judge, and Andrew had requested that they fix it and it actually now works.
Okay,
So we got that all squashed. If we could get some time to go over all the discovery on it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, 30-day reset, and we'll call this a discovery setting.
Yes.
All right, May 6th, once you sign the reset form, you are excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
I think we had told you about what happened yesterday, that we're recalled for Monday on that case that was.
Yes, yes, you did.
So, and I already got an email from Sybil, so it should be fine.
Okay, awesome. Norma,
Yes, sir.
was the issue with Kilton?
Thank you.
And then Lindsay, if you need resets on these, we can just put them on the same day as the other.
Okay, perfect.
Sure.
Mr. Sullivan. Yes, ma'am. Fill out a community supervision. Please? Can you fill out a community supervision? Please? Community supervision. Please.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Planner. Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, ma'am, I did it wrong again.
Need his signature.
Oh. Well, now give it back.
Yes.
This is a order for tomorrow. Mostly on these, you need a prisoner. We're gonna bring it over to hospital tomorrow. Probably the mark.
Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, this is awesome. And you know what's funny? That everybody think this is gonna help me, but we're gonna try it.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Michael Arismendez. Okay, thank you. Court is calling 2025 CR 001187, State versus Michael Arismendez. Could I have parties announce?
And
Scott
here's
Sullivan.
Statement of the state.
Got Sullivan. for the thing.
And are you Mr. Arismendez?
ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review it with your client?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Did you review the application for community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Okay.
Did you understand that you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 1 to 4 grams? The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow that plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you are giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, you have.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Arismendez, has anyone threatened you,
No,
coerced you, threatened you, coerced you, or
no,
placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
no,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison, and the state is recommending community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea?
Yes, sir.
State is at the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you are waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Yes, ma'am.
No, have there been any such motions?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry, Your
No
Honor.
problem. Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years and there be a TAP evaluation. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I can't contest.
State, any evidence?
State in Exhibit 1 and attachments, Judge.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
State to be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I think you finally wants to get a hold. We talked a lot about his sobriety and he's ready to get there now.
All right, so how long have you been using?
Been using for about 10 years.
When did you start? I mean, how old were you when you first used?
20.
Okay, why did you start?
A lot of depression. And, it's like my family. I didn't have my family.
All right. And is your family here in Bear County?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
All right, so who is your support system? What family members?
My mom.
All right, have you been to prison before?
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
For the same thing.
For drugs?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything other than drugs?
Tampering with evidence and abetting arrest.
All right, and what are all these tattoos about?
Tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I just have love for my city.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We're gonna see if probation thinks that's love for the city or love for groups.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think it may be love for more than your city, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so here's the thing about tattoos. I really don't have a problem with people having tattoos, but this is I always tell you, once you start tattooing really above the clavicle, people will see you a certain way. Like, for example, who's going to hire you? Like, there may be somebody out there who said, you know what, I'm going to look past all of this. He seems like a good guy. He seems like he's ready to change his life and he wants to work hard. But 9 times out of 10, people are going to say, that's a little bit too dangerous for me because there's other things going on. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 4 years. In custody, we're going to do the following evaluations. TAP evaluation. follow recommendations. Gang evaluation. And there's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Oh, and also, Ms. Abrams, we'll do a, MIC evaluation in custody as well. There's to be regular random UAs. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. How far did you go in school?
To the 10th grade,
Why? Why didn't you graduate?
because I was
Doing other things? All right. So there's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. And that will be waived if he obtains his GED or some sort of trade school certification. So you're gonna have a choice. You can better yourself by obtaining your GED or obtaining your trade school certification in something. Or it gets hot in San Antonio, as you're aware, since you say you have love for your city. And you can spend that time on the side of the road picking up trash because that's where they'll put you. You understand?
this time.
There's going to be field visits one time per month until further notice. And there's to be 120 sober meeting days, 120 sober meetings in 120 days. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question about what that is, speak to your attorney.
Totally understand.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I understand sometimes when people go into prison, they develop an affiliation with groups that have love for their cities because that's what you need to make it through prison, right? You're going to have to make a decision on whether or not you want to change your life. Definitely, if you continue on the path you're on, you're going to either spend the rest of your life in and out of jail, in and out of prison, or somebody's going to be identifying you on the side of the road or in some field somewhere. You understand? In this court, to be successful, communication is key. If there's an issue, if you feel you're about to use, because you're not allowed to drink alcohol either, let probation know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can come back to court. And then if you decide, you know what, this probation thing, I can't believe I signed up to do probation. I don't want to do it. Again, let probation know. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
People, places, and things. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Can I see the file on Jose Gonzalez? Oh, yes, that's for Martin Guerra. Yes, it's his printout. Yes. All right, Jose Gonzalez. And there's a Marianne Olivares. I may not be pronouncing that correctly, Olivares.
That should be here on Zoom.
No, he's listed as Jose Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, I need you to show your video and unmute, please. Okay. He's not. You want to call him and see? And it's okay. And I'll see who this Marianne Olivares
So I
is.
tell you that is his significant other, the mother of our complainant.
All right. Marianne Olivares, if you can unmute, maybe she's asking him or helping him.
He was in her contact.
Yes, hello, I'm here.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. All right, we're just here today to see whether or not you all are going to reach an agreement, but your client is not responding.
We have reached an agreement, Judge. Just, we're gonna, just ask for a couple of weeks. We're going to resolve the misdemeanor, which will effectively take care of this case, which will at that time go away.
All right, and which date is that happening on?
Monday.
All right.
Would be the
First.
31st.
Ms. Ferguson,
Yes.
recall this back for Monday. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Oh, and counsel, since that's gonna be I guess a plea and misdemeanor court, you can tell your client he can go there first before coming here.
Right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, who is here on Aisha Esparza? Hello. All right, so are y'all ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. I think it was originally set as a contested, it's not
Yes.
contested.
Okay. Court is calling 2020 CR 3640 State versus Aisha Esparza. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Martin Dara, attorney for Aisha Esparza.
And are you Miss Esparza?
Yes, sir.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes,
Did
sir.
you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Aisha Esparza who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 3640 for the offense of retaliation on August 5th, 2020 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Violation of condition number 2, on or about the 31st day of December 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Aisha Esparza did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court supervision officer and or duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. We waive and abandon the remainder, sir.
Any objections?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find you true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, the state is asking and a sentence of 2 years.
Okay. And defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we're respectfully asking that you follow the recommendation of probation, which was to deny the state's motion. Continue her honor deferred an extension of 2 years. They're recommending a 90-day jail sanction. That's the one thing that we differ on.
Mhm.
We are hoping that she'd be able to do a GPS monitor, partial house arrest, so she'll either be at work or at home. Additionally, I can tell you the recommendation from probation was also alter and amend to add the drug patch for 9 months, 0 tolerance probation, ISP for 1 year, then supervised by HRC unit, MRT class, healthy relationships class, and that she will report by person for all future visits.
All right, so any objections to the court review and the court summary?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, they send it to me by email. I just don't look at it until people tell me it's okay. So let me look. Mhm. All right, what I can tell everybody, the fact that probation is saying they want a 90-day jail sanction, that tells me that they really don't want to continue you, right? So what I am going to have to find out from you is why you're not doing well on probation. And it appears from looking at the probation is that there's some issues with marijuana use. I know that neither party is going on that, so I'm not accepting that as true, but I'm just telling you what appears to be going on. So you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give would be the truth, that nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, why are you not doing well on probation?
I had a bad time in 2022 and made some bad decisions, Your Honor.
Why are you making bad decisions when you know you could go to prison for 10 years?
I was suffering from marijuana, from alcoholism.
All right, so let me just tell you, that's really not a good reason to come to me with that. You know why? Because I always ask everybody if they have any issues, they can let probation know they're having issues or come to me if they feel as though probation is not addressing those issues.
I understand that.
So,
And I did make a mistake.
well, no, you made choices because everybody knows you're not allowed to use marijuana while you're on probation. If you decide to use marijuana while you're on probation, you're making choices. If there is an addiction involved, for example, if you're on probation and you're using cocaine, yeah, you're making a choice, but I understand that sometimes people are addicted, right? So in this court, I always tell people, if you feel as though you're going to use, if you feel as there's an issue, let probation know. Even if you feel like, oh, I'm going to use, cocaine today. Cocaine is calling my name. I'm not going to be able to stop. I'm going to use it. I always tell them, let probation know. And then what I will do is probation will have you come in here because your attorney will tell you I've had compliance hearings and it's what can we do to get you back on track? You understand? And I'm looking at the court summary. You've been missing in action. Where have you been?
Nervous.
I don't know. Don't be nervous. I mean, I can easily say, don't be nervous. I understand why you're nervous because you're looking at 10 years in prison. So I'm trying to figure out where have you been? Because I'm looking at the court summary.
I was scared to turn myself in, Your Honor.
Mhm.
I did start a job in July of 2022 and I went to counseling. I was diagnosed with bipolar depression. I got on medications until I was pregnant in February of 2023. I've been doing good since, and I was just scared to turn myself in.
Well, that's a problem. All right, anyone else has any other questions?
Your Honor, if I may.
And then, and also counsel, if you can see, on the court summary, the issues with her doing Zoom office visits, if you can also address that as well.
Yes, sir. I can answer some questions.
Sure.
Now you talked about the substance abuse. You talked about mental health issues, but I'm just curious. Do you dispute the descriptions? I mean, do we get a chance to go through this court summary in detail?
Yes.
And you recall those descriptions of your interactions with probation on Zoom?
Yeah.
I mean, do you have, let me ask you this, was it a false representation of what happened?
No.
And do you think that that interaction at the time, was that, well, are you the same person that you were then?
No.
I mean, you mentioned a couple of things that changed. One was getting your job. And then it was the medication as well.
Yeah.
When you got the job, that was at South Texas Podiatry. And Your Honor, I do have letters printed out. These letters are from one of the primary physicians at South Texas Podiatry. I've already shared these with
Any
her.
objection?
No objection, Judge.
And another letter is from Lisa Bing, the area manager at South Texas Podiatry. And a third letter from her cousin.
All right, let me read this. And just so state is aware, I did have the defense counsel send this to me because it was in his phone to print it out, but I didn't read any of it. Okay.
Your Honor.
So, and are these letters that the defendant provided to you?
Yes, sir. To be clear, I'm not asking for the state to withdraw the motion and issue a letter of apology. She knows full well that she made those bad choices, and that's why she's here today. But I think when you read the descriptions from the court summary talking about her disorderly appearance and her behavior, it is a completely opposite from what you can hear in the letters reflected from her employer. I mean, she has basically turned her life around totally in terms of not having any issues with drugs or alcohol. She's completely willing to be tested today and come up clean. She has basically been able to not only get gainfully employed, but make a difference at the practice where she works to such an extent that they, quite frankly, were worried that if anything were to happen, if she were to get locked up, that the practice would suffer. And I think that's reflected in the letters. They did not know about all of her legal problems until more recently. But again, they were surprised to hear about it because of the type of person, how she conducts herself. She's made arrangements, Your Honor, in the event that she weren't going to be extended on probation on deferred adjudication. Made arrangements for her kids. But at the same time, I do think that the community's interests would best be served, though, if she were to be held accountable and sanctioned, but also strictly supervised. I mean, fortunate for her, she's not a seasoned veteran, has many encounters. with the criminal courts. I think she has one prior deferred on a misdemeanor case. But I think she knows right now how serious everything is. And again, what happened back in 21 and 22, I think is more a product of her lack of mental health treatment, her lack of any type of treatment for substance abuse that she had with alcohol and marijuana. And you are correct. She could have asked for that help, but she spoke honestly today. She got scared, especially after February of 2023 is when she was mostly scared about being taken away from her newborn. Again, Your Honor, you can strictly supervise her, you can hold her accountable, but you can also serve the community's interests by making sure she doesn't make these mistakes. She's completely amenable to doing a strict period of supervision. In fact, we spoke already about many of the different conditions which you could add, in addition to the ones that are being recommended by probation, whether it's field visits or weekly meetings, the patch, drug testing. I mean, any of those things, I think you would see that she is not the same person that she was back in 2020, 2021, and 2022. It's been a complete turnaround. And I just think I would hate to see a situation where she is removed from her home. And now we have, kids without their mom. We have a young woman that's going to lose her home.
Well, I will tell you this. If you end up getting revoked and going to prison, it's completely your fault. You understand? And if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? All right, I want a drug test today. She's going to go to, you have your ID? All right, you're going to go do your drug test today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Miss Abrams, she is going to go do a drug test with felony drug court. All right. And can you give her the address? All right, and Vashon, I'm all right, Kenneth Howie. Yes. So I am awaiting a response from the AG's office.
Okay.
So I've told them that the time, Kenneth Howie?
No, he's not there.
Oh, is he in the back? Oh, okay, I understand. Thank you. So just one second. All right, so what we'll do is we'll recall this. Hopefully next week I will have a response from them. Let me see. I think I included you in that email as
Yes.
well. So I'm just waiting.
And Judge, it's my understanding from talking to the court staff
Mhm.
that the state's only recused itself off of one case, which is the newly indicted case and not the MTR case.
Oh, they have to be recused off the indicted case as well. So
But they're.
Waiting for the paperwork
I don't-
for the motion to be filed.
All right, so-
We need to get them recused on both cases, get somebody on both cases so we can start rolling on this case. a request from both the state and the court.
State,
Yes.
and here's my thing. We're gonna do is we're gonna call this back. This should be done by no later than April 7th. So it's coming back on April 7th. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm gonna be in the building, but I'm gonna go take care of some
Sure.
business.
If you wanna go with
I'll
that.
just.
Judge,
Yes,
does CTD have any more cases?
I have no idea. The person who would know that would be the coordinator.
Yeah. Does CTD have any more cases?
All right, Sean Pilkington. All right, where did Lindsay go? Yes. And can I see all of the remaining files?
She's not out there.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Oops, sorry. All right, Deputy Laura, did you send Mr. Jimenez back? All right, so recall that for Monday.
Day.
All right, and on Justin Guzman, has he been transferred from another county? So what are we doing to get him here?